Hello folks and welcome back to NL Now on NTV. My name is Bob and I'd like to thank you all so much for tuning in for another week of our show. Now, Gary has asked me to come out here this morning and introduce our guests for today's show to you. So, in the interview chair a little later on, Gary will be chatting with Rhonda Tulk from Music NL. We're going to learn all kinds of great fun things about Music NL from her later on in the show. Plus, we have two amazingly talented musical guests with us today for our show. We have Anna and Eric, and we also have Colleen Power. So we're so excited for all of that, and we're so happy that you could join us. And we're going to kick things off right after our opening theme. Roll the credits. Now, folks, to open up the show, we have a wonderful performer. And we do have to let you know, though, just so you know, this performer is also going to be featured next week in a very special episode of NL Now, which I'll chat with you guys about a little later on. So please welcome now to our in-house musical guest stage, Colleen Power.
comprehend where we are. I came all the way here just to watch you lose. I knew you never would. The city and I, the city and I, the city and I are going under. As I look out the window tonight, I wonder where the view went such short time. Oh darling, look at me while I get lost into the fog, looking for all the things that were not. I came all the way here just to watch you go. It's time, or maybe I don't know. The city and I, the city and I, the city is mine, but I am losing. The city and I, the city and I, the city and I are disappearing. Da 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 da. I drove all the way here just to watch you go. It's time, or maybe I don't know. The city and I, the city and I, the city and I are going under. The city and I, the city and I, the city is mine, but I am losing. The city and I, the city and I, the city and I are disappearing.
Thank you so much for joining me here today, Rhonda. It's great to finally be able to do this.
It's exciting to be here.
So why don't you start off maybe by telling our viewers just a little background about yourself and I guess a little bit about what your role is at Music NL.
Sure, I'd love to, Gary. Well, my name is Rhonda Tulk and I'm the CEO of Music NL. And Music NL is our music industry association for Newfoundland and Labrador. And it's a pretty fun, exciting, fast-paced job because we represent and support over 700 members right across our province.
So Music NL, of course, every year, I know you guys do, of course, your awards show with your Music Celebration Month. So one of the questions I wanted to ask was why do you think it's so important for our musicians to get their recognition at the award show and those types of events?
It's extremely important, and as you said, we do that every year. We celebrate the hard work and the accomplishments of our musicians and those in the sector. We'll probably talk a little bit about your nomination that you had as well.
Yeah.
So what we do is we'll award and recognize the top in many, many genres. That helps the musician or anyone in the sector with their really their resume, because then they'll apply for more awards at the East Coast Music Awards, at the Junos, Grammys. So it really helps build their resume for future success and work. So it's truly, truly so important to celebrate and make those awards.
So for people who may be interested in becoming a member of Music NL, any of the musicians out there who may be watching this or industry professionals, so how can people become a member of Music NL?
Really good question, and something I wanted to dig into a little bit, because our membership is growing. It's really, really simple. Anyone can become a member. We've got a number of different categories, so whether you're an artist, a musician, a band, a choir, an industry professional, maybe you're a sound tech, maybe you work in the media, it's as simple as going to musicnl.ca and buying a membership. And it's a really good investment in your career. But that's the first step as well in getting nominated.
Right.
So that's how people win awards, because people always say, how does someone win? How does that process work?
Yes.
Well, first you got to be a member. And then you nominate yourself or get someone to nominate you, and then it gets juried by a group of experts. So really, really easy to become a member. Just reach out and we'll have a chat with one of our staff about how to support you.
Yes, that's great. So what are some of the, I know you offer a ton of different services for your members, but what are some of them that you might be able to touch on here today?
One of the most, I think, important things we do is our funding programs. So we have 3 to 4 funding programs that help those in the sector do the work they need to do. So recording, making EPs, making that album. Also market access, so exporting. So if you want to create a tour and travel across Newfoundland and Labrador, across the Atlantic region or Canada, we'll also support you in getting there and helping you with the tour. We also help you do marketing and promotion. We also offer professional development. So perhaps someone wants to go to a conference so they can meet and get connected, grow the different things they need to do and learn as they progress in their career. So our funding programs are really critical. We also do a connector program. That's a brand new program. Really excited about this because a lot of people don't know who they need to get connected with. No problem. We help you. We search the community and get you connected with the people you need to work with, again, to help grow your career.
So now, one of the services that you guys offer, it's I guess one of the newer ones as well, is right here at Play on Gower, which is the wonderful space that we've been using for this season. So maybe talk a little bit about that.
Excellent. So we have just created a partnership with the Gower Street United Church. They had this absolutely beautiful historic building just sitting here in downtown St. John's. And they reached out and we talked about partnering so that our 700 members could make use of this church. So we now rent the space. Great discounts for members of Music NL and anyone that's interested. They have the beautiful sanctuary. So a lot of our musicians have used the sanctuary for gorgeous performances. We also have the lecture hall, which you and I are in today. Beautiful space, full commercial kitchen, and also meeting rooms. So Music NL is envisioning this as a creative arts hub for our members in the sector to really make use of it. So it's an exciting new opportunity for us, and we call it Play on Gower.
Well, that's great. Of course, we love the space here, and hopefully the viewers at home enjoy it too. Now, speaking of the viewers at home, of course, if there's anyone watching and wondering what some of the best ways are that they can support their favorite local musicians, how would you, what advice would you give them for that?
Another great question. One of the biggest ways is to get out and go see them live. So we are huge supporters of live music and also working with live music venues. So they're also our members. Don't want to forget about them because you need a whole ecosystem to have a successful music sector. So the first thing is get out, buy a ticket, go support that local artist. The second thing is a lot of local artists have merch available. So you'll want to purchase some of their merch. Get that hat, get that t-shirt. That's another way. And as well is buy that record. Pay for their music and share it with everyone in your circle. So there's a number of ways to support local, but just get out, buy a ticket, and enjoy the show.
Yes, now that's great. So we're going to do a little thing now that I like to do with all of my guests. It's a little game, sort of, called Get to Know Me. So I'll ask you 5 questions, and you'll come back with the first thing that pops into your head. Okay, your favorite color?
Pink.
Your favorite food?
Pizza.
Your favorite song to sing out loud when you're alone in the car?
Video killed a radio star.
Your favorite thing to do in your spare time?
Just relax and sit on my back deck.
And finally, your favorite thing about your job?
Meeting all the amazing people that I've gotten to meet over the last 2 years and the people
Yes.
I'm going to meet.
Now, one last question for you there. If people want to maybe sign up as a member or check out some more information, where can they do that?
musicnl.ca.
Okay, that's great. So I'd like to thank you once again for coming on the show here today, Rhonda. It's been great to finally talk with you.
Thank you so much, Gary.
All right, folks, we'll be right back after this very short break with more NL Now. Welcome back to NL Now. I'm here on our little musical guest stage with today's wonderful musical guests, Anna and Eric. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Oh, hello. Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure.
Yes, so why don't you guys start by just giving us a little bit of background information, I guess, on how you started performing music together and that sort of thing.
All right, yeah, we started back home in Brazil. We've been living here in Newfoundland for 3 years now. But we've been performing together for over 10 years.
For over 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's great. Now, one of the questions we like to ask a lot of our musical guests is, where do you mostly find that your inspiration comes when you're writing new music?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, I think that everything, nature, love, people.
Yeah, I think everyday life.
Yeah.
Like here in Newfoundland specifically, with so much nature, with the water, like the presence of the sea everywhere.
Yeah, and even the weather.
The weather,
Yes.
So yeah, Newfoundland's a very inspiring place to write music.
Now, another thing we like to ask our musical guests, it's a bit of an interesting question. If you guys could pick any other musical artist to get to collaborate on a song with, who would you pick and why?
Wow, that's a very good question.
McCartney.
Alive or dead? Yeah.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah, Paul McCartney would be a very good.
Yeah, that's great. Now, why don't you just tell us a little bit about the next song you're going to do for us here?
Okay, so the next song is called Hope, but it was originally Esperança, Hope in Portuguese, and was first released as Esperança, my solo album. And when we moved here, we started performing the song, and it was really nice that everyone was kind of, what do you mean? What are
Yeah,
you
what are you saying?
Yeah, what are you singing? And then Eric, he did not a translation, but like he did like the English version.
Yeah, an English version, yeah.
Yeah, of the song. That's how Hope came together. So the next song we're going to sing half in Portuguese, half in English.
Well, that sounds great. I can't wait to hear it. Well, thanks again to both of you for joining me here today. It's been great to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Gary.
Thank you very much.
And thank you folks at home for watching the show today. We'll be back again, of course, next week with another all-new episode of NL Now. And now, here to close out the show, once again, please welcome Anna and Eric.
Oh, has died. He joined the sun and the sea in the prettiest twilight, where I found eternity. And now the future is back, and our best years have passed. Son, I have grown so old, but you're the same. Look at that. There's a smile within me from the old sunny mornings. There's a loneliness I love that sticks up here without warning.
A esperança morreu, seguiu o sol e o mar. Foi encontrar a eternidade que sempre esteve por lá. E o futuro voltou e o nosso tempo parou.
solidão, mas ela não quis nada comigo. There are so many flowers that I just lose track. I see so many flowers on my walls that I just lose track of time, lose track of time.
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 The wonderful Anna and Eric, folks. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of NL Now here on NTV. We will be back next Saturday at 10:30 a.m. with a very special episode of the show. We are going to be airing a show that we recorded live in Placentia. So come back next week for that here on NL Now.